right, this is section 4.2. We are rounding decimal numbers. You want to pause the recording or pause the video for a few minutes so you can copy down the rules, but you're going to, step 1, find the place value, which you are rounding to. You're going to draw a cutoff line after that place value to represent what you're dropping off. Step 2 is to look at the first digit that you are cutting off. Step 3A and 3B are choices. When you're looking at that digit from step 2, if it's 4 or less, you're going to keep everything on the right of your cutoff or the left of your cutoff line the same. And if in step 3B, the digit that you're looking at in step 2 is 5 or more, you're going to round up all the stuff that's on the left of that cutoff line by adding 1 to it. So let's look at an example. If I can find my cursor. There we go. Alright, so here's our first example. We are going to round this number to the nearest thousandths. The first thing that we need to do is we need to find the thousandths place value, so tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I'm drawing a cutoff line after that number. That means everything on the right side is going to drop off, and it means that everything on the left side is going to stay the same or round up by 1 depending on what we find in step 2. So step 2 tells us to find the number, the first number that we're going to drop off. And that's the number just to the right of the cutoff line. So it's a 5. So in step 3A, it says if it's 4 or less, which it's not, or step 3B says 5 or more. So this guy is 5 or more, which means we're going to round up by adding 1 to whatever is on the left side of that cutoff line. So now we're completely done with everything on this side. What we're dealing with is simply the 14.396 plus 1. So 6 and 1 is 7. Bring down my 9, my 3, my decimal, my 4, and my 1. And so this is my final answer, 14 and 397 thousandths. Let's look at our next one. All right, tenths. So tenth is here. That means my cutoff line follows. Means that I'm going to look at the number 4 in step 2, and I know that it is 4 or less, which is step 3, and so that means that we're going to drop it off and keep this side the same, so my answer is 5.3, or 5 and 3/10. Okay, let's look at this one. We're going to round to the nearest hundredth, so tenths, hundredths. We're going to put our cutoff line, and we're going to look at that number just to the right of the cutoff line, and it's a 7, so it falls into that 5 or more category, which means we're going to add 1 to the left side of the cutoff line. Everything on the right side of the cutoff line goes away. So 9 and 1 is 0, which makes it's actually 10, so I carried my 1. 6 and 1 is 7. Bring down my decimal and my 0. Notice that the problem said hundredths, so I needed tenths, hundredths, so I need 2 decimal places, so I have to keep both of those for my final answer. Okay, one more. Tenths place is tenths here, so I'm going to have a cutoff line that follows, and we're going to have this number just to the right to look at, and I find that 7 is in that 5 or more category, so we're going to add 1 to the left side, and everything on this side will drop off. And so 9 and 1 is 10, which is 0, carry your 1. 7 and 1 is 8, and bring my 5 down, and bring my decimal straight down. Notice that I have tenths, so I need this 1 place value. So 58 and no tenths. Final answer.